time for the drop, people. We're at Cactus Music World headquarters, and we have got a list. I'm Ruben Dominguez. That's Quinn Bishop. I was very excited when you sent this list to me.
Oh, all right. I like it. Yeah,
good. Phone's ringing already. People
we haven't even
want,
talked about anything. People
yeah, it's like
know.
a blind. It's the blind sale.
Yeah, it's like I don't care what you're. I don't care what you're talking about. I want it.
I don't care.
Ready to pay.
Yes. Go.
Kick
it off.
Hey, we're going to kick off talking about several cool events, two which were just announced yesterday. First, we're getting another in-store performance on Saturday, 1 p.m. This Saturday.
Love it.
Paper Gliders, who are a band that have been kind of, indie pop band, working hard during the pandemic, releasing music, and never really got a chance to do anything with it. They put out a 7-inch late last year, but we weren't really doing events at that point. So we're happy to host them on the Cactus stage.
Nice.
Kind of, there's like 3 singers in the band. They're cool. There's a lot of content out there, so you can hear what they're doing. I think they're all like video producers or something because everything looks great.
Really looks good, yeah.
But it should be fun. It should be a great band on the Cactus stage. And, of course, complimentary St. Arnold beverages.
Free show.
Yeah. I can't,
you can't beat that on a Saturday.
And then yesterday we announced 2 big global listening parties.
Okay.
Which these are events. The music is embargoed. You might be able to hear a single or 2, but you can't hear your first opportunity to hear the full album is going to be at Cactus Music on Tuesday, the 6th of June at 5:30. We're going to present the new Janelle Monáe album, which is The Age of Pleasure. I actually have a graphic for you.
Look at this.
We have a poster. There's a poster you can get when you come to the store. And, what people need to know, it's been 5 years since her last record, and she's been very, very busy since then. Her last record, Dirty Computer, was a bestseller and, just really conceptual and out there. And this is her 4th album. We're going to talk about a few 4th albums today. The new singles are Lipstick Lover and Float. The music sounds really cool. But this is the first time to hear the full album at the store, and we've got some free giveaways for people are coming out. I feel like she's transcended just like the musician thing.
Yeah.
Now she's a best-selling author. Her memory librarian, fashion icon. Very funny, very cool. We did an event with her right before she blew up, an in-store event. Man, we had to lock the doors. There were so many people. She was just awesome. Like electrifying.
That's fantastic. That's great.
She's not going to be here, but you can hear the album for the first time. We've got some free giveaways for you, complimentary St. Arnold beverages. And then the next night, Wednesday, the 7th, at the same time, 5:30 p.m., we're going to be playing the new Jason Isbell record for the first time.
Oh, very nice.
First time you can hear that record in its entirety. And we have a great, people get a cool, like, lenticular art print. That's the only place you can get it, is at our store. And then you can register to win. That night we're going to give away an autographed LP with a T-shirt, with a lapel pin, with a limited edition poster. So you can really clean up if you're a Jason Isbell fan. I've heard the record. It's awesome. It's really, really great. The singles they put out there were kind of mid-tempo. I love the cover. It's kind of folk-arty. Weather Vanes. Weather Vanes is the name of the album. But the first couple of singles are kind of heavy content-wise, but it all hangs together really well. Another great record from him. If you're a fan, you're going to dig it. So
that's cool.
Yeah. See you Saturday, next Tuesday, next Wednesday. Come out. Free St. Arnold. Good stuff.
Let's do it.
And all right, let's talk about some new records. And this is one, I'm going to say I was surprised that this record exists. I really kind of thought this was it. They move on and do something else, but they didn't. And I think that's cool. This is the new album from the Foo Fighters. This is, the title is so great. The title is, But Here We Are. And I mean, who hasn't felt like that?
Yeah.
Passing of a friend, comrade, buddy.
Yeah.
And here we are. They're moving forward. Just announced their new drummer,
Josh Freese.
Yeah, who he is pretty dang good.
Pretty good drummer to hire.
Pretty good drummer.
I would say he was the front runner anyway. Probably.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's already an association there. But I haven't really heard any music from this, but I think everybody kind of wants to know how these guys are doing. And I think you're going to get it all here in one record. We're going to learn more about them with this record than we probably have in a long time. Speaking of great drummers, did you see Chad Smith drop by the store last week?
I did, and I was like,
cool.
If I would have hung around an extra hour and a half, I would have caught him. Yeah.
You never know. You never know who's going to be hanging out at the record store. So,
did he buy anything?
Yeah, he did. He bought a bunch of Black Sabbath like radio broadcast things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
He was a cool dude. Signed. There were people like that were chasing him around.
I'm sure.
We got some autographs. We had some limited edition drumsticks for the ship for the Live Nation gave us for the show.
I think
Signed
before he
some.
came over, he was over at Rock and Robin.
Yeah.
I think he bought a vintage Martin something.
Oh,
Over
did
there.
he really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I was going to do
saw-
that. I let him have it.
Yeah, sure. You know what? That's yours. How many vintage Martins can I have at the house?
Oh yeah. All right. Another big artist with a big following. This is Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, Council Skies. This is the limited edition that comes with it. 7-inch, but there's 4 or 5 different versions of this. What you need to know is, his records are usually recorded and mixed at his I think it's funny because it's Lone Star Sound Recording Studios in London, England.
Yeah. Well, I think he's just referring to himself as the Lone Star.
Well, because his records, even though they're very much band records, he kind of makes them by himself, and then with his producer, and then kind of plays most of the instruments, and then we'll have some of the live band play on them. But then when you see them live, I think that's what gives those records.
I gave it a quick scan. There isn't a just out of the box rocker on here.
I noticed that too.
It's kind of not introspective, but it's mellower, a little mellower.
Yeah, I mean he's one of the great Britpop writers. This is his 4th album as well. The singles are Pretty Boy, Easy Now. I thought they were good. I want to hear the whole record. Johnny Marr guests on I think 3 tracks, and for one of the expanded versions, there's a bonus disc with remixes. Now when you're somebody when you can get Robert Smith in the middle of like booking a tour and doing stuff to remix a bunch of tracks for you.
Sure.
Pet Shop Boys remixing it. So, so this should be good. He's got tons of fans, and hopefully he tours and we see him through Houston. I like the cover where it's just like the roundabout with all their gear set up.
Yeah, and a nice shot of his very, very classic Gibson ES.
That's what he likes, man.
55.
That's right.
I think it's a 55.
I get 335
because it's got the
355.
stereo.
Oh yeah.
It's got the stereo switch.
We also have a new album from the Beach Fossils.
This is interesting.
Bunny. So this band is really kind of grown with each release and gotten like more popular. They're on their own label, Bayonet Records. They're very, I would say, self-contained.
Mm-hmm.
They call this, bedroom pop or bedroom indie pop because it's kind of, home. The former term would be kind of lo-fi, but it's definitely the higher end of lo-fi. It's very well executed. People really love them. Dustin Passeur is the name of the artist that goes by the name Beach Fossils. But they've had a 10-year run. Very dreamy pop stuff. I think they're cool. I have not spent much time with this record yet, but
this one's on powder blue vinyl. I thought, and I've thought this before about these guys. A slight little different production, maybe 1 or 2 more guitar pedals, and they can be very shoegazy.
Right.
It's pretty spare. It could go that way very quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff.
Songs are there, vocals are there.
Songs are definitely there. Yeah, it's a good one.
One of the things we get to do on this program is introduce people to new talent that might actually go somewhere and sell some records. And this band, Matchbox 20.
These guys could do something.
These guys, I'm telling you, I think they could sell a record.
They could sell a record or 2. Brand new music, though.
Brand new music. First time in over a decade, these guys have had an album. And I think the singles sound exactly. I think they're giving the people what they want.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a kind of a time capsule for. Yeah. It definitely sounds like them.
Right. Here's more Matchbox 20.
Yeah. Did you miss us? We're back.
Yeah.
The singles Wild Dogs and the first track Friends I think is really strong. So
Lisa Longoria, if you're watching, come by this.
The thing is, do you know about this band?
I know a little bit about them.
Well, so physically they are a kooky band because like 3 of the guys in the band are maybe 5'7", maybe 5'8", and then there's 2 members that are like 7
6'7",
tall.
yeah.
So when you see photos of them, you'll notice like the shorter guys or more diminutive guys are always up front with the tall guys in the back to kind of make it balance.
Yeah, to balance it out. Yeah.
Kind
interesting.
Of a funny inside Matchbox 20 thing for you. Okay. Big sophomore album. Chips are down for Arlo Parks. My Soft Machine is the brand new record.
Yep.
What you need to know about her is she is just an absolute sensation. One of the biggest debuts of last year in the UK.
Yeah.
She won Collapsed in Sunbeams was the first record, and she won Best New Artist in the Brit Awards. She won the BBC Introductory Artist of the Year Awards, and the Mercury Prize. She got 2 Grammy noms in the U.S. This record, she's working with people that have helped produce Frank Ocean and SZA. I think that it's got a cool sound to it.
There's
I like the record.
no need to worry about the sophomore slump.
I don't think so. I don't
solid.
think so at all. You know, it's funny because I'll track these records and usually skip to the next track and listen to a little bit. So I can, so I'm informed.
Yeah.
So I can recommend stuff or, give you the real straight dope.
Yes.
But this one, man, I really let it go, and it was effortless listen. I thought it was really, really great sounding. Great sounding record.
Pegasus, the song on here featuring Phoebe Bridgers, is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, of course. You gotta have there's some kind of I don't know, ordinance with recording artists. You gotta have Phoebe Bridgers on your record.
Yeah, and I'm waiting to hear like that one song that it's a bad feature, and there isn't one.
I haven't heard it yet.
She shows
I have not heard it.
And
Are you ready for a new Weezer record?
Please.
Because there is one.
Please.
This is part of they're doing a series called Seasons. There was already spring. This is summer. I would say that spring was a little more kind of modern sounding. This sounds more classic 90s alternative Weezer, maybe more for the fans a little bit. It's interesting. They're doing a song cycle record. They're going to be 4 records. I think this says 8 tracks. I think the last one was shorter. They're more kind of I wouldn't call them an EP, but I wouldn't call them an LP either. Maybe like a mini LP, but a little bit heavier than the last record. And
I like heavier Weezer.
Yeah, I do too. I like it. You turn up the guitars a little bit because sometimes it's a little too
poppy.
Yeah,
sing-songy.
Well, and a little too laptopy. It doesn't sound like there's a band on it.
Exactly. Right.
This is good.
Meat and potatoes.
Yeah, I think fans are going to dig this, maybe even more than the last one. So
love it.
All right, this is one of my favorite releases of the year so far. This is Sparks, and it is the girl crying in her latte. We'll move it. We do have the LP too, but I'm showing you the CD here. Great cover. This marks the band after 50 years. A return to Island Records, where they started. It is crazy.
That's insane.
And this is being hailed as a modern masterpiece from these guys. The art pop duo of the Mail Brothers are back. It's a solid record. A lot of every record's different. This record's very kind of classic keyboard sounding. At times it's very kind of Kraftwerky and that kind of sound, but always engaging, humorous lyrics. The third track, which is
Nothing is as good as they say it is.
Nothing as good as they say it is.
I like Veronica Lake.
It's a great song. Veronica Lake.
I thought Veronica Lake was really good.
Yeah, this is if you're a fan, you're not going to be disappointed. They're playing 2 dates in Texas. Unfortunately, not Houston, but they're playing in Austin and Dallas in July. Go see them. That might be your. They haven't played. I guess they played Fun Fest a few years ago. So who knows?
Well, there you go.
Who knows? Another CD for you. This actually came out a couple weeks ago and we missed it. New record from Ricky Lee Jones, and this is Pieces of Treasure. What did they say? The Duchess of Coolsville. And it's produced by Russ Titleman, who produced some of her early works. Classic Warner Brothers staff producer. And what you need to know about this is jazz standards, but of course she never plays anything straight. Like there's, varying stylistic shifts that you might not expect from a standards record. It's cool, man. She's such a distinctive vocalist and, really a signature artist from the 70s that really followed her moves wherever she went. She has always made engaging artful records when she could have just not
tried to just make pop hits.
Very respectful. Very respectful. Okay, and I wanted to include this record. This band hasn't really clicked in the US. They were huge in the UK. They are really a unique band. This is Black Country New Road.
Hard to describe.
Yep. I would say they're an experimental post-punk,
post-rock
kind of thing.
Yep.
And you can see all the 4- and 5-star reviews on the side here. But here is the nutty thing about this record. So after 2 albums, the lead singer leaves because he's for mental health reasons, which I kind of love it that we're living in an age where people can actually say that and address it and not hang in there, because not everybody's meant to be away from home 200 days a year and and isolate like that. Exactly, because it is a grinder. So so the singer leaves and they go on tour with Black Midi and they work out a whole new repertoire. These are all new songs there's no studio versions of it, and this is their new album. recorded live on the road. Really kind of, again, an artful way to deal with that situation. And I don't know that has ever happened before.
I don't either.
Yeah, so they're a cool band. Check them out. The earlier, I actually have not heard this yet, but I'm excited to hear it.
So and there's male and female different that alternate too, right? So we've got.
I think so. Yeah.
I think because I know there was a woman sings on a couple of these, I believe, as I was giving it a. But yeah, it's cool.
It's kind of a big surprise, right? Like who's lost a lead singer and played it like that? It's cool.
Not in recent memory,
No.
I don't think.
Another new release. Now, this record's been out for some time, but this is really cool. Taylor Swift continues to be pretty great to indie record stores. So there was of course, there were multiple versions of Midnights, but there was one that was available only on her site, the Love Potion purple colored vinyl, and she shipped a bunch of them to indie record stores. So we have that for you too. Here she is hanging out at home on the back. Everybody's familiar with these photos of the great Taylor Swift. So the only place you can get these now, they're no longer even for sale on her site. You can only get them in independent record stores. Very cool.
I went down a Taylor Swift YouTube rabbit hole over the weekend.
Oh, did you
Just
really?
started watching interviews. Interviews. Crazy.
She's a good interview. She also gets asked a lot of crazy questions that there's no way you can anticipate. Sometimes I'm
And
often
she always
surprised.
handles it.
She
Like,
handles it
you never
well.
catch her.
But you know this. So you're meeting
Yeah.
someone of some import, and
Yeah.
you have a list of questions you can ask. Which of these questions do you want to ask? You see interviews with her, and she's obviously not prepared for what they're asking. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Because somebody's been working on I want to ask the question no one's asked Taylor Swift before.
Yeah.
You're trying to put those together.
And it lets you know that they're kind of flying a little, but they trust that she's on it, that she can deal with that. So that's cool.
Yep.
Because not everybody does this.
Nope.
All right. Very popular jazz reissue program. We skipped this last week.
We skipped this last week, and this is the segment. This is the part of the show where Quinn makes me feel smarter.
That's what we're
He
about.
helps me out.
We're trying to do what we can.
Yes, thank
Ruben.
you.
We're
Because I
trying
need
our
all the
best.
help. I need all the culture I can get.
Well, we have a lot of great
Oh, Mike
reissues.
Henry says, "Happy Friday Eve, Mr. Ruben."
It is Happy Friday.
What's going
Thanks,
on?
Mike.
Jazz reissues. Let's get in it.
Jazz reissues. Let's kick it off. This is working with the Miles Davis Quintet, and this is interesting. The association. He's got 4 records. That a lot of times when jazz guys would make a record, they'd be making more records at one session.
Yeah.
There's 2 sessions from '56, and they produced 4 albums, 4 legendary albums from Miles, relaxing with, cooking with, and steaming with the Miles Davis Quintet. And
That's
what
nuts.
these are. What people love about this is Miles and run down the personnel here. It's
let's go.
pretty remarkable.
Sure. John Coltrane, Red Garland, Paul Chambers, Philly Joe Jones. Yeah.
And so what keeps people really the fascination with these records is that interplay between John Coltrane and Miles Davis, which is as good as it gets. And you get 4 records. These have just come back out. The Kraft label's doing versions that again, they're not seeing a computer. It's from tape. They sound as good as they can possibly be.
I love it.
180 gram press.
And I always love the quotes. I always loved the from back in the day, right? This album, obviously, when it was reviewed, it says the whole LP is a gas.
It's a gas, man.
I don't see how anyone can do without it. Says Ralph J. Gleason of Downbeat.
Downbeat.
The Holy
Jazz
Bible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
These cats were
gas.
swinging. It's a
swinging, man.
gas.
Total gas. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Next up, another trumpet player. This is from Blue Note. The previous one was from the Prestige label, but this is the fabulous Fats Navarro, Volume 1. What you need to know about him, he was a really influential trumpet player, but sadly,
Oh, somebody likes it. Keep going.
But he died in 1950 at age 26. So another one of those guys, what would he
Wow.
have done had he not succumbed to his vices and habits? But very interesting background with him. He was African, Cuban, Chinese heritage, and was a player's player. Like everybody that was in the jazz scene thought this guy was a fantastic player. And there's just not a lot of recorded music. And but I could tell. So I listened to Miles and him back to back. It's like, oh yeah, he's doing his own thing. You know,
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's fantastic.
Let's go right back to Miles. This is volume 1, and these are some of Miles' earliest recordings from 52 to 54 when they made those little 10-inch records and called them LPs. This bundles that stuff together. So this is cool. It's cool to hear his delve. I mean, you're most people are used to hearing some of the later period stuff. I think it's cool to hear how his phrasing and how melodic it is, and a lot of his what became his own personal standards are on these volume 1 and volume 2 records. On the affordable Blue Note classic vinyl series, where they kind of don't go crazy on the packaging, so it's a more affordable record for you.
Yeah.
But great title. And of course, all this really early stuff is in mono. And Kevin Gray, all these records we're talking about, Kevin Gray is the guy that cut all these for these new versions, and they sound as great as they possibly could be.
And burning the cigarette while you're just while you're blowing people's mind with your work on the trumpet. You just keep the cigarette in your hand.
Talk about multitasking.
Yeah.
That's the
Miles, maybe you should put the cigarette down for this track.
Nope.
I'd love to hear the comeback to that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Okay, we're going to close the Jazz Reissues program with one of the great meetings, one of the great collaborations of the century. This is Thelonious Monk with John Coltrane.
Okay.
This is like top of the list of records if you're trying to investigate, do some
Jesus
due diligence and figure out.
Go buy
jazz.
this. Just go buy this record. You'll thank
you don't
us
get
later.
it from this. You're not going to get it.
Right.
1961. Again, pretty much regarded as one of the greatest jazz sessions of the 20th century. Remastered again by Kevin Gray. It really is a great sound.
Look at this photo. There's Monk at the piano. Look at Coltrane. Look at these guys.
Yeah, they were whooping.
Look at these guys.
Serious music.
I love those really. I love every photograph of Monk because I love Monk. But there was just something, I don't know, there's just something about black and white pictures of that dude that always touched something in me. I don't know what it is.
And the photography is what sold. You're talking Blue Note, you're talking Prestige. Look at it. I mean, all these covers. People say don't judge a book by its cover, but you can, with regards to classic jazz, you can kind of judge a book by its cover because the photography is unbelievably
it makes you feel a certain way.
There's a book, all the album cover, Blue Note album covers.
Ooh, I'd like to see that.
It's really,
Do you guys have it?
We probably do somewhere. But even artists that weren't, where the records were 2-star records, but the photography is still
incredible.
5-star.
It's incredible. Sure.
Okay, it's my turn in the vinyl vault.
It is your turn.
It is my turn in the vinyl vault. And I have picked
this is so good.
I try to pick a kooky one and one that was influential to me.
Freaking awesome.
This is the Ruddles. Meet the
God.
And it's just the album simply called the Ruddles. But
Explain
back in the day,
this to everyone.
So
they're not going to know.
I know. 1978. This was the first. There had been many. This was the first one, and it's a collaboration between Neil Innes, the great songwriter who wrote songs for the Bonzo Dog
I've never
Band,
seen this.
was friends with the Beatles, and the great Eric Idle from Monty Python, and they used to have a radio series in England called the Rutland Times, and they did a little bit that was a Beatles parody in it, and they discovered that was the most popular thing they did, so they started kind of conceiving of doing like a more expanded thing. Lorne Michael gets involved. They produced this mockumentary for NBC in 1978 called "All You Need Is Cash." Play on "All You Need Is Love." The story of the Ruddles, and I can tell you, as like a 11-year-old Beatles fan that had just kind of figured out the whole Beatles thing, to watch this thing, and I was a Python fan. It was really one of the only things you watched.
Right?
And I loved the humor.
I think 12 when this came out,
and it so confused me. It was funny. It was so confusing.
You knew you were watching that, but I had this whole thing. It's like, did these guys really exist?
I know the same thing. And then there's like this.
Did I miss this?
It was the first time I'd ever seen like real music parody. And there's the pictures of the other fake album covers, but
amazing.
They had substitute the banana for the phallic banana for the apple.
Of course.
I mean, they thought of everything. It's so well done, but it was a huge flop. But I watched it and I was like, what the songs were great. I was singing, the songs afterwards.
Just the art direction, just what went into it,
fantastic.
just the, they recreate.
Yeah, they created the sets and everything. So and in the SNL cast is in this thing. You get Bill Murray, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd is in it.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, and of course Lorne Michaels, but then you get some special guests. You got Mick Jagger, you got Ron Wood, and you got George Harrison. So the Beatles, what became anthology many years later, they were already working on that.
Right.
And George, who's good friends with both of those other guys, because George backed the Python films,
Of course.
And they had seen some of this Beatles footage, and they just thought, oh, that's great. We'll just do some of that too. Supposedly McCartney didn't like it so much. He thought it was kind of too close to the songs were a little
right on the nose, a bit much right on the nose. Yeah.
And when it came out, the LP the packaging here, there's like a whole book that flips out. And
look at this.
Cavern Club, you got the early Beatles, you got the little suits. And Ricky Fitard, that's in this, he was also in the touring version of the Beach Boys for a while. He was,
God.
Yeah, it's just absolute silliness. But like I'm saying, as an 11-year-old kid, I could not understand.
This is amazing.
How much of it was real and how much of it was fiction. Of course, it was all fiction. It was just a total rave up. But it's really fun. If you haven't seen I think the only way you can see this is on YouTube. But you can watch the documentary. It's only an hour.
Is that Muhammad Ali?
It's Muhammad Ali. They just they made it look like they're sitting with Muhammad, and that's pre-Photoshop.
Oh God,
that's pre-Photoshop.
This is brilliant. This is fantastic.
Yeah, they made it seem like they were the most popular band in the world.
Yes. Oh God, dude, good pick.
Yeah.
Final Vault, you win.
Ruddlemania is sweeping the nation. So, but if you love Beatles, the Beatles or Beatles parody, and younger person, you're not familiar with this. Ruddlemania is coming.
This is
coming to you
in some ways, almost like a precursor to like Spinal Tap, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. In fact,
like a rockumentary on this scale.
Yeah, and
because it was on television. It was like on.
Rob Reiner loved it.
And it was like on
something like that.
ABC on a Thursday night or something. I remember watching it as a kid going, what the hell is this?
It was the lowest rated show on and all the ratings that week. And supposedly the executives were like, why are we giving prime time to this show? That
people got fired after this aired. The next day, people were fired when the ratings gave out.
Yeah. But
that's fantastic.
It is ridiculous fun. So, this thing is now available as a deluxe reissue, so you can buy it in stores. God. I don't know if it's on CD, but it's on LP. Hold on, we got the song titles. The song titles are absolutely ridiculous. You get instead of cheese and onions, ouch instead of help.
Right.
Let's see. Piggy in the middle. Let's be natural. I mean, it's just If you're a Beatles fan, this is so much fun, and you can move straight from this to the Utopia album, Deface the Music, where they're kind of doing the same thing. This inspired a bunch of Beatles parodies.
That's amazing. That's oh man, dude, that has been the most entertaining Vinyl Vault to date.
The mockumentary is as good or better than you remember. It's worth.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at it because now I'd probably just in light of the big Apple TV or the big 3-hour Beatles or multiple.
This is much
9-hour.
easier to watch.
Yeah. I still haven't finished that thing. It's just like eating one steak after another.
It's a lot.
Too much. It's a lot. Oh my God, where are we on time? What have we done? Oh Jesus. Well, we started a little late. God bless you. All right, people. So here's the deal. Remember, this week, Saturday, come on down. Free
Gliders,
Cactus,
1
Paper
p.m.
Gliders is going to be great. It's a free show. St. Arnold's. Listening parties next week. All this information is on
cactusmusictx.com.
Go check them out, guys. We're going to get out of here. We're going to leave you alone, but we will see you next week. And you know the drill. Make sure you put some good music in your life. Peace. There we go.